Greetings and salutations, viewers. It is I, Cybertron X, coming to you with a special review. This is going to be a lot of figures in this one review, and it's a special one because back in the day, we didn't have your Marvel Select or your Marvel Diamond Selects or your Hot Toy figures for Marvel superheroes or any DC superheroes, in fact. Well, basically, if you wanted Marvel, you had to go with the one company, Toy Biz. Now, Toy Biz came out with some interesting concepts for figures, some of them good, and some of them really bad. I'm going to show you a sampling of some of the good, some of the bad, and some of the why are they created. First, let's go over with some of the good ones. Starting with this guy here. This is Sunfire. This is actually a really neat figure. There is one drawback to the figure, and I'm going to go over it right now. But articulation, you had basically 5 to 6 points of articulation, the head swivel and stuff like that. But this guy even has a ponytail swivel. That's right, his ponytail swivels. But you can't lift his arms up any further because of his armor. But you can take the armor off to lift the arms. So that's not bad. I mean, these are some actually decent figures. This is one of the good ones. We'll put him back here. Here's another one of the decent figures with a goofy gimmick. Iceman. Really awesome figure. I mean, excellent articulation. But his goofy gimmick is his ice sled. You actually peg him in, fill this with water, and stick it in your fridge. Now, there was a version of this that when you did that, he actually got a color change gimmick, which gave him a little not so clear look. And you popped it out and you slide it down. So that was actually kind of a interesting, silly gimmick. So that's one of the good ones. Another one of the good ones with a kind of an interesting gimmicks, in my opinion, is this guy. Deadlock. No head articulation, but your normal knee bends and stuff like that. But his head here, it popped up a little bit to see his brain. Right there. So that's kind of the good gimmicks. Now here's an example of good gimmicks and a good figure. Talking about, here's Phoenix, and she had a lights up feature, so her head and hair would light up in her eyes. Really decent articulation, and actually some really decent sculpt. So that was actually a decent figure as well. Then we have Cyclops. I don't know why he has this arm brace cannon thing, but his eyes light up, so I can forgive that. There's also another version that's actually resemblance more of the cartoon itself, but this is more like a first appearance one, so I'll let that slide. Now, here are two figures that have the exact same similar gimmick, but also look really cool. First, we're going to go with this Sabretooth. And let's raise his arms up. You squeeze his legs together. Rawr, rawr. So that's actually a good concept for a figure there. So that's actually kind of cool. Stick him back here as well. There is one drawback. A lot of these can't stand worth a flip because their bodies are kind of like really weirdly portioned. And the next one here is this Wolverine. I really do like it. I forget what period this thing is, but this one actually had a cool gimmick that slashing. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Now we're coming up with some with the interesting gimmick that's goofy. Cable here. Can bend the legs, rotate the head. That's all you can do with that arm. So, yeah. But he also has karate chop action. Kind of a goofy figure. Then we have Strafe here. His gimmick is he lifts his mask and reveals that he's Cable's clone. Actually, I really like this figure because of how it looks. It's actually a pretty cool sculpt. Now, here we go with the horrible figures that are goofy, that are just really bad. And this is one of the things they're known for. They're either hit or miss. These are a lot of the, to me, some of the hits, some of the meh. And then we have, oh dear God, what the hell is that? That's Cameron Hodge, people. His gimmick is he's a water squirter. Could we make it any more yellow? Huh? Some of these figures are figures that I don't think they should have made. I mean, this is one of them. Or if they made him a water squirter, give him a separate gun. Because you remove that, you have a giant hole in the back. So that's one of the goofy ones. I'm saving the best for last, people. I'm saving the three things for the last, and the third one here is interesting. Now here we go with Wolverine. Classic brown suit Wolverine with a samurai sword and spring-loaded claw gimmicks. This is a good figure. So why would I put him with the goofy figures? Because of this. This is the Wolverine cycle. That, the gimmick's messed up, but if you were to flip a switch, it would rotate with Wolverine's head on the front. You know, just so that the extendable claws on the side of the motorcycle didn't give it away. And yes, Wolverine can sit on it, but he can't sit on it well. So that's goofy. And now, for the piece de resistance, I give you Apocalypse. Skinnier than Apocalypse should be. Not as muscular as Apocalypse can be. But he was given the gimmick of changing height. And how they did this, you say? Well, you erase the torso. There you go. That's not too bad. And you extend wait, what? Yeah, you extend the legs. And that's how you increased his size. Anybody notice a weak spot? Anybody? Yeah. So that's one of the misses. And here comes the best miss of all. Juggernaut. No head articulation, no arm articulation, and the legs are the only thing that really gives articulation. Now, there is arm articulation, but you can't bend them. They're in permanent pose for the smashing. And you notice I'm able to move this around really well. Why? He's on roller skates. Because this isn't all he comes with. Because you know the Juggernaut, the unstoppable object that's indestructible. Hell, let's give him battle armor. I'll give you a minute to let that sink in. This figure has battle armor, roller skates, and a smashing gimmick. Whoever thought this idea was either stoned, stupid, or stupid and stoned and never read a comic book. A, he needed to be bigger. B, he's not as bulky as he should be. And the Juggernaut does not need battle armor. So yeah, that's what we had to deal with in the early 80s and the 90s was Toy Biz action figures. I have more of these. I have some that are really cool. So I'm going to do another video of showing some of these off individually. But this is just showing you the hit and misses of the Toy Biz action figure toy line. I'm Cybertron X, this is Geek Talk Reviews, and these are Toy Biz action figures. Later.